Hola estudiantes, hoy vamos a hablar del verbo gustar. In English, we use the word like, and in Spanish, they use the phrase me gusta. Me gusta could be translated I like. Let's talk about this more specifically because it's a little bit of a different verb than what you're used to. To say what you like in Spanish, you'll need several things. First of all, you need the verb gustar, which actually literally means to please. The verb gustar has only two forms, gusta and gustan. That's in the present tense. Typically, you don't use other forms of this verb in any kind of context. The second thing you're going to need to say what you like in Spanish are indirect object pronouns. So it's a good thing if you've taken out a piece of paper and are taking notes along the way. Please pause the video whenever you need to slow down enough so you can write some of these things down. For example, it's a good thing for you to write down the indirect object pronouns. We abbreviate these IOP. So if you ever see that written on a grammar page or something, IOP refers to indirect object pronouns. Here are the indirect object pronouns in Spanish. For me, you'll use me. For you, te. For you, him, or her, all three, you'll use le. For us, nos. And for y'all or them, use the indirect object pronoun les. So indirect object pronouns answer the question, to whom? In other words, in Spanish, we're going to say, to whom does something please? The next thing that you're going to want to use are the prepositional pronouns, and those will be abbreviated PP, prepositional pronouns. Take time to write down these prepositional pronouns, please. For me, which would be like to me, you would use me. For you would use ti. For you, the formal one, use usted, and for him or her, use él or ella. For us, use nosotros. You'll notice that several of these look exactly like the subject pronouns, and that's true, they do, but they're prepositional pronouns as well. Ustedes is used for y'all, and ellos would be used for them. Prepositional pronouns are the pronouns that follow prepositions, like to or for. In Spanish, we're going to use a, which means to, and para, which can sometimes be translated for. In this context, we're going to use the a. So let's look a little bit more in detail at the formula. To say what one likes to do, that would be an activity or a verb, it'll look like this. A mí me gusta comer. So the first thing you have is that preposition, a, followed by the prepositional pronoun, followed by an indirect object pronoun, followed by the form of gustar, in this form, gusta, and finally followed by an infinitive verb. Remember that in Spanish, an infinitive verb is the one that ends in R. So take time to pause the video and write this formula down to help you be able to construct these sentences. Here's another example. If you want to say you like to sing, it'll look like this. A ti, te, that's the indirect object pronoun, gusta, and then the verb that means to sing, which is cantar. A ti te gusta cantar. Here's another example. Suppose you have more than one verb. Suppose you want to say he likes to sing and dance. Follows the same formula, you just add a second verb. A él le gusta cantar y bailar. Literally what you're saying is to him, it's pleasing to sing, and to dance. Just a couple of notes here. In this phrase, a él, did you notice that those two words do not contract? When a is followed by él and él has an accent mark on it, that means it means he or him, and you do not contract that. So here's another thing to note. Gusta is in the same form whether you use a single verb or several verbs. Even if you used 100 verbs, it would still be in the singular form, gusta. So now let's talk about the formula if you want to say a singular thing that you like. For example, if you want to say that you like pears, in Spanish you would say, a mí me gusta la pera. Literally, the pear is pleasing to me. The formula goes like this. A, me, prepositional pronoun, me, indirect object pronoun, gusta, the singular form, and then the singular noun. Pause the video so you can write that formula down. Here's another example. Suppose you want to say that she likes bread. A ella le gusta el pan. A ella le gusta el pan. Here's another example. Suppose you want to say that we like steak. A nosotros nos gusta el bistec. Nosotros is the prepositional pronoun in this case. Nos is the indirect object pronoun. Gusta is still in the singular form and is followed by a singular noun with the article el bistec. So suppose the thing that is liked is a plural noun or multiple things. A mí me gustan las uvas. Did you see that form of gustar changed from gusta to gustan? A mí me gustan because uvas is plural. Literally, you're saying that the grapes, which are plural, please me. So that's why you use gustan instead of gusta, because it's grapes that are pleasing. Here's another example. You all like French fries. A ustedes les gustan las papas fritas. A plus a prepositional pronoun plus an indirect object pronoun plus the plural form of gustar, which is gustan, and then the plural noun with the article las. One more example. They like shrimp. Well, one thing, shrimp in Spanish is always used as a plural noun, so you have to know that as well. You would say a ellos les gustan los camarones. To them, the shrimp are pleasing. A ellos les gustan los camarones. Here's a little bit of additional information. The prepositional phrase is optional. It's used for emphasis or clarification. Okay, so you don't always have to use it. So that part that is a ellos in parentheses could be left off, and you could just say les gustan los camarones. Here's some more additional information. To show dislike, suppose you don't like something, you're going to add the negative no before the indirect object pronoun. A ellos les gustan los camarones would change to a ellos no les gustan los camarones. Remember, the indirect object pronoun in this sentence is les. A ellos no les gustan los camarones. Instead of prepositional pronouns, you could use a noun or a noun phrase. So you could say, for example, A Susana y a Juan no les gustan los camarones. Our noun or noun phrase is a Susana y a Juan. Do you notice that when we have two names listed there, we have to repeat the a? A Susana y a Juan no les gustan los camarones. Here's another example. A mi familia le gustan los camarones. A mi familia is our, let me go back. A mi familia is our noun phrase. But remember that mi familia is a singular subject, even though several people are included in a family. That's why we're using le instead of les. A mi familia le gustan los camarones. I'm guessing you might want to go back through this screencast maybe once or twice and take careful notes so that you can begin to construct these kinds of sentences well. Adios.